Hi everyone, am I live? Hi, a good day to all of y'all who are watching. I'm Melissa Tan, and welcome to my business page. As I said, my name is Melissa Tan, and I'm from Singapore. And for those who don't know me yet, I'm a mom, a wife, and I have three wonderful boys, and also a digital marketing mentor. Come join me for the next 10 days as I will go live on my business page when I will share more about my why, about myself, and also my journey in the digital business so far. Actually, 2 years ago, I did a similar 10 days go live journey where I did share about my why and also and my why back then was, and it still is, because I want to spend more time with my kids and to have more family time, to have my family together with me, to create more precious memories and to not spend 40 plus hours a week behind the desk working for other people. So, okay, some of you might not know this, but I used to work as a business analyst in the financial industry for the past 13 years or so. Yeah, so and in those times, I had my children, and yeah, they grew up before my eyes like really quickly. People say time flies, and yeah, it definitely flew by really quickly. And I regretted not being able to be there for most of their vital milestones, especially my second son's growing up years. I recall that at that point in time, I was working really hard. It seemed like, when he was growing up, it all happened in a flash. I can't seem to remember when he took his first steps. Actually, I think I wasn't even there. And my nanny, the helper, had to actually record it and send it to me at the office. And I think I also missed his first day at kindergarten, right? Because I had to attend a meeting. And yeah, so my helper had to take him there. So I think all I have are just photos and really no vivid memories because I was so tied up with work back then. I recall I was really filled with mom guilt at that point of time, struggling to juggle all these multiple hats at home and at office. And there are some days where I felt like those piles of hats are just gonna topple down anytime, because I'm so overwhelmed and yeah, so stressed at work. Work is already very demanding. And after work, when I come home, I have to quickly switch roles, change my hats to play the mom role and sometimes to do the tutor role to manage my children's homework, to coach them, and really basically to get them ready for school. And it's always in a rushing kind of motion, and then to put them to bed so I can have like some peace and quiet time to myself after a busy day at work. And yeah, that leaves me actually very little time to enjoy my children. And yeah, I just don't want my kids to remember me as the busy mom, or the naggy mom who always just rushes them to go to bed every night. And weekend is always a crazy weekend because we have to go for enrichment classes and that. So yeah, that was then. And actually, come to think of it, I did some reflection. Come to think of it, to put things into perspective, right? We actually don't have that much time with our children as kids. So yeah, the days and the nights may seem very long, but the years are actually really short. So yeah, as I was saying just now, putting into perspective, I think we only have like maximum 18 to 20 years with them as kids, to celebrate like their Christmas, their birthdays, and have Christmas with them. Because I feel after that they will, grow up and lead their own life, have their own friends, and they probably wouldn't want to spend birthdays, with the parents. Friends will come first, that kind of thing. I mean, speaking through experience, right? I think I did the same thing as well when I went to uni, and like that's it. After that, I hardly went home for like birthdays because I was overseas. But yeah, I just don't want to miss all that. I want to have more time with them while I can. And yeah, so I knew if I didn't make a switch, nothing is going to change, right? And I would just continue to struggle, with all the multiple hats and being overwhelmed all the time and filled with anxiety and just be in that same routine for a long, long time, basically struggling for a long, long time. And I know this is actually a very common like struggle for most working mom, because my mom also went through the same thing. Back then there wasn't much of a choice. She had to go to work So she left me and my brother at home with the nanny. But it's like that, right? Last time is either you went out to work and then you leave the kids behind, or you stay at home and have no income, right? And actually, until today, the same cycle, the same lifestyle is actually happening in our society. Like when I was working, my colleagues will constantly rant, you know, and they will express how they didn't want to go to work, how they can actually, like, they wish they could spend time with their children at home. And, if the kids are ill, they have to make work arrangements, to take their children to see the doctor. That's totally normal. But sometimes, we have like unreasonable bosses, who will question and give them a hard time. So, yeah, and yeah, the response I guess like, then they'll just say, oh, what to do, boss not happy, what to do, and actually it's that very response, that what to do, right, that actually fueled me further to want to change my situation, to do something about it, because I don't want to just like complain and what to do and then just live by it. I don't want to live life like that. So because I believe if nothing will change if you change nothing, right? Yeah, I know. I was also brought up, taught that I should always be better than my elders, and to make my parents proud, right? And actually, at one point of time, I felt like I wasn't doing any of that, and I wouldn't be able to achieve all that actually if I continued to be a salaried worker. The reason why me and my husband actually moved overseas to come to Singapore to, to live, to have a family, is because we want to have a better life, to earn better, to give back to our parents. But, the cost of living is just rising so much, right? Although people say our generation have it easier because of technology and advancement, but, it's also a lot harder to accumulate wealth these days because of the rising costs. And it's like rising as if there is no tomorrow. And yeah, because you see, during my teenage years, my dad actually had to work in foreign lands for many, many years to accumulate wealth, right? So that he can put his two children, like me and my brother, to university, and basically to give the family a better life. And yeah, so during that time, I remember that he wasn't around like for like events like my birthdays, my brother's birthdays. So he missed a lot of events, and I actually missed having that family bond with my dad. And back then there is no like webcam, there's no what do you call it, FaceTime, there's no WhatsApp call, right? It's really just on the phone. I speak to my dad and he just like wish me happy birthday, and that's it. And but of course when I was growing up, my dad will always be there, he'll be by my side with the birthday cake, and to take a picture as a family. So I didn't have all that during my teenage years, and I miss that, and I really miss my family having together. And I think my mom had it the hardest. It was a very trying time for her because she has to manage two kids, actually not two kids, two teenagers all on her own while running her own brick and mortar business. Yeah, so thinking back, there's just really like a hard time for the family, I guess, having to do this and have to be independent. I mean, my brother had to be independent really quickly. So yeah, that actually happened to my dad having to work overseas, and it actually happened to my husband as well. So it felt like, even coming to Singapore, wanting a better life, but it seems like history is still repeating myself. Okay, you might not know this, but when my two elder boys were still younger, they were I think 4 and 2 years old. My husband had to go overseas, but it was only for a year. Okay, but that year was like the toughest year for me. Okay, he had to go overseas for a year, and we actually decided that I would stay at home. I not stay in Singapore together with the kids, because I was climbing the corporate ladder, right? And we felt that I ought to just continue doing it, because we shouldn't, no, I shouldn't give it all away or throw it all away because of a gap year and be with my husband. Yeah, so at that point of time, I was really torn between like my family, my kids, my husband, and my career. And wow, that time I so wish that there was some kind of like solution or something that will allow me to, I don't know, just be with them, be with my family, and still make a living. And yeah, so actually those were my biggest why, which is to spend more time with my family. I always want to have my family together, right? And And besides that, I feel that, okay, over time, my why kind of evolved as well. Like what has sustained me through doing these 2 years being in the business is because I found a new why. Like how this business has worked for me, I also want to use this to help other people out there, other moms or dads, who are actually looking for alternatives instead of working the 9 to 5, the daily grind, and thinking of starting a digital business because it gives the time flexibility. Okay, I think I know this might sound cliche, but this is really what the business is all about. Bringing flexibility, learning and earning from home. Okay, but I think I'll talk more about that, next time. Today is more about my why, right? Okay, so this other why that I have also happened 2 years ago, right? It was during the global pandemic where everyone's life like turned upside down overnight. And during the high alert period, we all started working online, working from home, and the kids had home-based learning. And at that point of time, we didn't know how long the pandemic would last, right? And there was no such thing as job security. We all like realized that at that point of time because people were just getting laid off unexpectedly, business shutting down. And it was definitely a very scary time for many, many people and businesses. And I remember I was constantly working in fear, wondering if I would be next to get the cut. And yeah, it was during that time I learned the importance of having a plan B, a backup plan or an additional stream of income, in case something to fall back on in case if I lose my main stream of income, right? So actually, this also includes retirement. And all this while, I never really thought much about my retirement because it seemed very, very far away, and I was just too busy to think about it. But one thing's for sure, given the current cost of living, if I didn't have a side hustle or a business, and my yearly work increment doesn't beat inflation year by year, right? It would just be very, very challenging to retire in comfort and within my desired lifestyle. So yeah, these are actually all the factors that actually made me consider to do something different, right? To actually shift out of the standard routine, the rat race. I want to start something that I could call my own, to do something on my own, and something that I could potentially pass it down to my children so that they can have more options in life. Yeah, I think that's all for my sharing today about my why. Right. Thank you all for tuning in today. I will be back tomorrow for my day two. Same time, 10:30 a.m. Singapore time. And I will see you all then. Thank you for watching my go live or the replay. Take care and have a good day. Bye bye.